Hi and welcome back to Rick's Garage. In this episode we will be addressing these CF3 manifolds with the pre-cats. As you can see, they are very well, it is a very ugly chunk of metal. So firstly, let's get on to the reasons why you may want to be swapping out the CF3 manifolds in favour of the CF2 catless options. For most people, they want to do it as a performance gain. Obviously the pre-cats are very restrictive. Some people want to do it as part of a full exhaust system change for a little bit more tone, a little bit more noise. But the main reason, which is the reason why I'm wanting to do it, is because the Alfa V6 engine, under the very small GTV engine bay, the heat transfer from these pre-cats is absolutely ridiculous. It gets very hot under the engine bay, and it is said that the heat from these pre-cats, when you're stuck in traffic or when you switch off with a hot engine, it is said that it is a contributing factor to a cooked head gasket. But not only that, behind the plenum chamber on the CF3, you will know that the ECU is just above these manifolds as well, which is also another common failure. So you factor all that in, it is a really good thing to do to swap these out. Let's get on to talking more about the conversion. Now, this must be the best kept secret on the internet that I've ever seen. I come across the upgrade within a few days of ownership on the car. I looked into it a little bit more of removing the manifolds, particularly on the rear bank. That is the issue here, the rear bank manifold. And everybody is saying you need to remove the engine, you need to remove the engine. Spoke to a few specialists, they said ideally you need to move the engine. I asked specialists on YouTube saying can it be done with the engine in place. Nobody ever got back to me. So yeah, it just seemed to be the world's best kept secret, and I really don't know why, because I haven't had a problem. Okay, now believe it or not, I was actually quoted £480 to remove these manifolds on my Alfa Romeo. I'll say that again, £480, which just blew me away, absolutely unbelievable. And I thought, God, maybe you actually do need to remove the engine. Then I was dreading it. It's a job I was absolutely dreading. £480 for a job, which in the end actually took me half an hour to remove. It's just beggars belief, really. You really can do this yourself, and I'm going to cover the process for you now. Okay, so the job itself, removing the actual manifolds. Now, as I've already said, I've not covered the front bank manifold because they are easy to remove anyway. The issue in hand is the rear bank manifold. Now, those who have subscribed to my channel and seen the work that I've already done so far, you will know that I've already removed my subframe and all the suspension components and the drive shafts. Now, does that mean you need to remove those as well? Possibly, but I do believe you should be able to remove this manifold just by removing the long driver side drive shaft. Now, worst case scenario, if you do need to remove the subframe as well yourself, luckily I have already done a video on that for you should you need to do it. Now, don't forget, if you was removing the engine to do this manifold job, you'd have to remove the subframe anyway, so what have you got to lose? But anyway, I do think you should be able to do it with just the driver side drive shaft removed. So undoing the actual nuts to the manifold is very easy. They are made out of copper, so they shouldn't be seized, but obviously because they're made out of copper, they can round off very easily, so be careful. Accessing those nuts is not too difficult, but I woke up in the morning thinking about the job I'm going to do, and my first plan of action, I was thinking to remove the plenum chamber to give me a bit more access to the from the top. But in the end, I didn't even need to do that. I could access them, they're perfectly fine. Obviously, if you've got hands like shovels, then you're going to struggle a little bit more than I did, but you can get in there. It is perfectly doable, and you shouldn't have a problem. Now, some of the nuts can be removed with a ratchet and a socket, but some of them, because of the angles of the pipes, you do need to use a spanner. But as I said, it's all perfectly easily done. Now, I do want to mention that you need to be aware that on the left hand side you've got your starter motor, on the right hand side you've got your alternator, and both of those do have live connections on. And obviously, if you're going to be, you could possibly touch those whilst you're jiggling and moving this manifold out. So obviously you need to disconnect your battery. It's really, really important. But yeah, once you've got those nuts removed and you've got the lambda sensor disconnected, which is held on with a few zip ties along the root, I must add. Once you've got all that done, you can just jiggle and maneuver the manifold out. No problem at all. But the video will cover it for you. I just hope you can appreciate that trying to film this was really difficult because of the lack of access, but I did my best for you. Hopefully you can find it useful. So stay tuned, because after the video we will be talking about manifold and downpipe options, and also your MOT emissions after you've had the job done. So stay tuned, enjoy. Okay, so there you have it, the CF3 manifold successfully removed from my GTV. Now again, I haven't covered the removal of the front bank manifold because that is, you know, pretty straightforward. You'll have no problems whatsoever. So anyway, now that the cats are out, straight away you will notice you've got lambda sensors sticking out from straight out of the middle of the cats themselves. So whatever route or whatever you decide to fit on the car afterwards, you need to make sure that you do have lambdas in place. Now options, the first option, if money is no object, what some people tend to do is purchase some Wizard handcrafted stainless manifolds. They're very nice. Floor design is absolutely superb. You know, they retail at £795 plus VAT plus postage. And those are a complete direct swap for the CF3. They already have the lambda bosses welded into the manifolds, so you can plug the lambda sensor straight in, pretty much plug and play. Also they will connect straight up to your CF3 downpipes. So yeah, pretty much straight swap, plug and play, no issues. Okay, and the second option, which is the route that most people choose to take, is to find some earlier CF2 manifolds, either from a GTV or a 156. Now on the rear bank manifold, they already have the lambda bosses ready in place for you to plug and play. Or which I decided to buy because, you know, I got them at an absolutely superb price. I actually bought some CF1 manifolds. Now the problem with the CF1 manifolds is they have no bosses in the manifolds whatsoever, but that's easily sorted because all you need to do is drill a hole and weld on a lambda boss and away you go. So downpipes, if money is no object, Wizard do supply a full custom made set of downpipes for the CF3, complete straight swap, and I believe they are £395 plus VAT plus postage. Okay, the second option for downpipes is to simply get yourself hold of a set of CF2 downpipes. Now they do require a little bit of modification. Now obviously those who are doing this swap will know that the CF3 manifolds, just one second, the CF3 manifolds do have a 3-bolt flange, and on the cat end where the downpipe's attached you have a 2-bolt flange. Now on the CF2 that is the opposite way around, so they actually have a 2-bolt flange at the manifold end and a 3-bolt flange at the cat end. Now, once you've fitted the CF2 manifolds, you've already got the 2-bolt flange at the manifold end, but on the other end, because you're fitting them to the CF3 cats, you will need to take that flange off and swap it round for a 3-bolt flange. God, it's confusing, but I hope you get me. Okay, now for the lambda sensor for the front bank manifold, on the CF3 it is integrated into the cat, but on the CF2 it's actually integrated into the downpipes. So once you swap those downpipes over for the CF2, you'll be able to plug and play them, no problem. Okay, so last but certainly not least, the subject is MOT emissions. Once you've removed the pre-cats, it's got to be on some people's minds. God knows it was on mine too. Now on this generation, the CF3 V6s, you do have 4 cats on the car in total. You've got the 2 pre-cats which are in the manifolds, and then you've got the secondary cats underneath the car. Now your emissions is actually measured in what they call ppm, which stands for particles per million, and the threshold or the limit for these cars is 200 ppm. Now I contacted a certain specialist who told me that the last one they tested with the pre-cats removed actually blew at 8 ppm, which is still way under bar, so you shouldn't have any problems really. Oh, just one last thing you may have read across forums on the internet, and that is some people, after they've done this modification, you know, a couple of 100 miles down the line, you do get an engine management light on. Now that I am told again by specialists is more than likely be either the lambda sensors need replacing, but again, more than likely it is because your secondary cats are old and breaking down, therefore not doing the job appropriately as they should. So once you replace the cats, should you need to, then that should be the end of your problems. So yeah, I hope I've covered everything for you. This is all the information that I wish I had, that I've been searching for so long. So I hope it's helped you out. Now obviously you do this modification at your own risk. I've give you the information. Now whether you want to do it is entirely up to you. So I hope it's helped anyway. Now as always, thank you very much for viewing. Please give me a like and subscribe. That would be very much appreciated, and I should look forward to seeing you in many more videos to come. Thank you very much. Bye bye.